back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, so as promised I am here to review one of my SPFBO books, in fact my favourite so far of the SPFBO books that I've been reading. If you don't know what SPFBO is, I will link my announcement video up here and down below for you guys to go and check out. I will also put links to Mark Lawrence's blog down below where you can go and read about the whole process, but essentially I am a judge for the self-published fantasy blog-off of 2017, and for it I have been reading self-published fantasy books. One of those books is this one, which is The Exercise of Vital Powers by Ian Gregor or Gregore. Never sure how to say his name, but this book is currently one of my favourites and I'm so excited to tell you guys about it. So let's just get started. So before reading this, I had never heard of it. It was one of the books that I was given. It had 2 ratings on Goodreads when I read it, so it was very, very new. It was a new release in June of 2017 and it literally has nothing really about it except the blurb. So I went into this completely blind and not expecting a huge amount, but this book surprised me immensely. At first I was like, it's interesting, I'm not sure. And then after about 3 or 4 pages, I started to realise that I was really, really enjoying the story. And that's great. To know that within a few pages, excellent. It's not the best written book I've ever read, because it is self-published and it does have moments where I think the writing could have done with an editor. But that is so minor compared to the story that it tells. This story follows Caden, a young woman in training who is hoping to become part of the Order, which is kind of the magical council of this world, once she has graduated, and to do that she has to go through a sort of university kind of process. Caden is quite a masterful character from the beginning. Not only is she sharp and witty, but she's also snarky and blunt, and we immediately launch into the story following her and a group of other kind of novices who are on an excursion to try and steal something from a big old building, and instantly she assumes command because the person in control is not doing a good job. And that's kind of the sort of person she is. She just knows when she needs to get involved and she needs to do her duty and she needs to prove herself. She is all about proving herself, being ahead of all the others and getting the job done as quickly as possible. It's quite common in this world to have novices in training for a very long time, but she is already way ahead of most of her peers and she is already very, very talented in magic. She's also, as a result of this, quite full of herself, quite snarky, and she's also slightly broken and tragic at times. She is a bit of a shielded, walled up character who has her own secrets and her own past and doesn't really want to share that with anyone, even though she knows it probably would benefit her to do so. She just can't. She is not able to open up yet. Her one true goal is revenge, and we don't know exactly what for, and we don't really know until much later in the book why, but there is definitely something inside of her that is driving her right from the start. You can see and feel the determination of her character coming through right from the first few pages. What I found most exciting about this was it just kept me reading. I wanted to keep reading even when there was a weird sentence or something that I think maybe needed more editing. Like, I didn't mind that because I was so into the story, and even though Caden herself is not the most likeable character, she has flaws that are very evident, and she definitely isn't someone who you instantly gravitate towards. She's interesting. She's dislikable, she's interesting, but she's just someone that you kind of can't help feeling sorry for and connecting with in different ways. She caused quite a conundrum for me because actually she wasn't someone who you could feel too sorry for or too upset by, because even when she did horrible and tragic things, which she did do to get her own way, she still did them for a reason, and that reason to her was kind of the be-all and end-all of everything. So she's quite tricky to pin down as a good or a bad character. She's just a grey character who you end up liking even if you don't want to, and you end up disliking even when you want to like her. She's complex, and I like that. I feel like she was one of the characters from this whole competition who felt really real to me and felt like the author had considered a lot about who she was and why she might have these motivations, and I like that in a character. I like someone who's a bit tricky, and that was good. The magic on this world kind of revolves around ley lines, which are lines in the earth that you can draw upon and kind of pull your magic from. There's 3 different types of magic in the world. However, each one is kind of designated for certain types of people to learn, and most people don't learn more than one type of magic. But Caden, being the exception that she is a very fast learner, surpasses everyone immediately, and decides she really wants to think about disobeying the rules and possibly learning some things she shouldn't, which makes her quite an interesting character, not only to the reader, but also to other characters in the plotline, including the headmistress of her sort of university or school thing. And the headmistress takes a particular interest in her. She is called Master Faye. And Master Faye is incredibly powerful. She is a member of the Order. She's been designated to look after this school, and no one really knows why, because it seems to a lot of the other Masters and a lot of the other Order members that she's kind of wasted there. She's kind of at the back end of everything and not really participating in the grander, wide scheme of things, which seems a bit strange considering just how powerful she is. In fact, she's one of the most powerful people on the Order. But Master Faye has her own reasons for wanting to be at the school, and Caden is one of those reasons. She has a particular interest in helping, or possibly just looking out for and monitoring Caden, and there are particular reasons behind her motivations that you do find out as the story goes on. Many of these were really interesting and kind of surprising to me, which was great. Overall, this was a super solid read. I really enjoyed it, and I read through it super quickly, even though it is a fairly long read. It's about 600 pages, I think. So it's a pretty long read, but it didn't take me long to get through, and I just felt really immersed in the story the whole time I was reading it. Caden isn't my favourite of characters, but she's a character who intrigues me more than most, and that is something that I found fascinating. And I do think the world building and the plot really contributed too. But for me, it was more about just the action and the intensity of Caden's story. And I do very, very much recommend picking up a copy of this on Kindle and giving it a go, because it was just excellent and so much fun. And I think it is only the first one in a series, so I have a strong feeling that this is going to be a series that I follow with interest as more and more books come out. The potential of this world and the potential of the series is excellent, so please let there be a second book. I would love there to be one. And I ended up giving this a 4.5 out of 5 stars overall, and would highly recommend it, particularly as this is a self-published book. And like I say, there's now only 3 ratings because I've added mine to Goodreads, so please go and pick this up on Kindle, check it out, read it, tell me what you think, tell the author what you think, and write up reviews for the author, because this is such a good, strong debut, and I did really enjoy it, and I would love for more of you to read it and check it out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye guys!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.